In the beginning. First page of Genesis, my last page of Revelation.
Oh, really?
In the beginning,
I love this book. It tells about like what chapter it's in. Yeah, verse 1. Did you hear what I said? Never mind.
Yeah, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. We can get a volunteer. Somebody wants to volunteer to. You volunteering? Yeah. Oh.
You know when you volunteer someone else, you gotta volunteer yourself.
Alright, so if someone can volunteer to read Genesis 1, verse 26.
Just 26.
Yes.
And God said, "Let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth."
Thank you. I need a volunteer to pray. Volunteer to lead us in prayer. Everybody jump in at once. Somebody else besides Bianca? Sequoia, you lead us in prayer.
God, thank you for this day. Please bless and nourish our body. Keep your angels around us. Let no harm come to us. Thank you for gathering us all here today. Please do your works and keep us all safe. And thank you for everything that you've done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. So, one of the best things about being a believer, one of the most awesome things about being someone who is a child of God, is being in the kingdom. This is a book, I'm going to share a few highlights and points from this book by Miles Monroe, Understanding the Kingdom, Preparing for Kingdom Experience and Expansion, but I want to have some conversation with everybody as well. It can be really boring and monotonous when all you have, bless you, when all you have is just a religion. Because religion is just, something that you do over and over again. A lot of people, they just have a religion. Statistics tell us that most of the people in this room, by the time you're 18 or 19 years old, you're going to give up on church. Why? Because it's religious. And it's just a practice. That's all it's ever been. It's been a chore. Something that you do, a place that you go, because somebody takes you and they tell you to go. So statistics actually say that only 4 out of 10, so we have about 21 people here. So about 40% of the people that are in this room right now will actually continue to serve, to love God, and to continue to have faith in Him. Why? Because most of us are doing just religion. It's just religious, it's a practice. But when we get to a kingdom mindset, it changes our outlook and our perspective on who we are. And that's my prayer, that's my desire for all of us while we're here, that our perspective will change on who we are. Bianca read Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And what we read and we see there about man being given the dominion over the earth is that God had a vision for man. He had a vision for you and me that we would have dominion, that we would represent Him and His kingdom. A lot of this has been lost. I want to read something just very briefly here, and you may be able to identify with some of this. It says, religion is defined as the adherence to a set of beliefs that regulate the moral, social, and ritualistic behavior of the individual. Listen to this part. This definition would include the so-called atheist, secularist, communist, socialist, humanist, or agnostic, for they all adhere to a belief system of some kind, even if it is the belief that there is no providential component in creation or life as we know it, or a belief in the power of the human as the supreme measure of truth and right. So, having a religion, it's not just about being a Christian, it's not just about what we believe going to church, but having religion, atheists. Anybody know an atheist in here? Anybody have a relationship or ever met an atheist? Does anybody not understand what atheism is? I can share if you don't. So So atheism. So atheist is someone who does not. I keep getting atheists mixed up with agnostics, but atheism, they don't believe that there is any higher power. There's no what we call a genesis. There's no beginning. There's no supernatural power that has created man. So someone that does not believe that there is a God is atheism. Agnostic, I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah, they don't.
Right, okay, because I always twist the two up. So that's, so right, yeah. So agnostic, they believe in the higher power, but they don't really know how to identify. So the interesting thing is that it talks in here about religion. Another quote I want to read, there's a couple of good quotes, I'm not going to read them all. It says, how ironic is it that religion, the very thing that by its nature is supposed to provide the solution to mankind's problems and provide hope and faith for life, has itself created more problems throughout history than it has solved. Wow. It pointed out these, and for those of you who are in school, you may remember some of these. Anybody ever studied the Crusades in school? Anybody learn about the Crusades? The Inquisition? Anybody ever learn about the Inquisition? Or various wars, the Protestant Reformation, the Catholic Counter-Reformation, slavery, ethnic cleansing, apartheid, segregation, racial discrimination. All of these things have been done behind the premise of religion. Yeah. September 11th. Most of you, I think, were born by then. I think everybody here was born by September 11th. So, if you weren't, it's okay. But, so September 11th. By religion. Somebody did that in the name of their God. They flew planes into buildings and harmed people. So isn't it ironic that the very thing, we have religion that's supposed to be a solution to a problem, supposed to be a help, that how it has harmed so many people. And I'm not just pointing at other religions. People have done in the name of our God, in the name of Jehovah God, in the name of Christian faith, where they have harmed people in the name of their God over religion. Religion is the result, it says, of an religion is a result of an inherent hunger in the human spirit that man cannot define, yet must seek to satisfy. This indefinable hunger, and I'm almost done with the quotes here, arising from a vacuum created by the loss of something man used to possess, drives him to pursue answers beyond his own realm. So, to summarize that, religion, is something that we all have a hunger for. And when you get hungry for something, be like me, I like desserts, I like to eat chocolate, I like to eat ice cream, something like that. When you get hungry for something, you're driven towards that. Well, we all have a void inside of us for something that we lost because of what Adam lost and what he lost in the Garden of Eden. We have that void there. We have that hunger that drives us for something. But the disappointing thing is that many of us are driven in the wrong direction and we find ourselves in religion. We have people that become tied up in so many things that have nothing to do with God. And the scary thing is the age that you all are in right now, and especially this generation, there are so many other belief systems and religions and faiths and what people can stand on, but we don't really know what we stand on. So when we get in a circle like this in a conversation and people start saying, well, I believe in this and this is why, are we prepared to tell people why we believe what we believe in? And how strong can we take a stand? And I remember when I was in college, I met a guy in college that he didn't believe in God, he believed in money. And that was his God. He said, no, I don't believe in God. Money is my God. And he broke down for me all the reasons why. And I felt so bad. I couldn't break down any reason why I believed in God. I was like, Dad, you brought up a good point. He was like, money pays for this. You can't live, you need money for everything. He's like, even though doesn't the Bible say money is the answer to everything under the sun and all that, but he had all the reasons. The point I'm making is when we get in these circles and we don't know what we believe in, all we have is a religion, a practice where we show up to church at 8 o'clock or 11 o'clock, we go in, we listen, we sing a song, we clap our hands, and we go back home and we do it all over the next week. That's just a practice. But we want to get to the point where we get released from that, right? We get released from just religion, and we want to move into kingdom mind. Hear this. Every person on earth ultimately is searching for two things in life. Two things in life everybody's searching for ultimately. Power and purpose. Two things in life. Power and purpose. All of us look for meaning for our existence and the power to control our lives and our circumstances. How great would it be if you could control your life? Think about all the things that you wish, I wish it went this way and not that way. Because we find ourselves in situations and we say, God, why am I here? Why hasn't this happened? Or why is it taking so long? We're driven, everybody's driven, ultimately we're driven for power and for purpose. These are the two things that people are looking for. And there's a lot of subcategories under that. But what I want to talk about today is about that dominion that God has given us and why we don't have to worry about these things that many of us have placed as a priority. All religions are the same. Excuse me, I'm going to give you a couple of these quotes and I'm going to get into the teaching. All religions are the same. They attempt to answer the questions of power and meaning. They all promise power to control life and circumstances and to explain life and death. They all claim to have the truth. They all claim superiority over each other. They all compare and compete with each other. They all demand, listen to this, adherence to their particular belief system while denying the others. I've often felt like with Christianity, we're the one group of believers that we just tell everybody, oh, it's okay. But any other faith, any other religion, they'll say, no, we don't accept that. Yeah. But with us, we're like watered down, like, oh, it's okay. We'll let them, they can do that. God's grace, God's mercy, He loves them. He'll, it's all right. We'll just accept anything. I had I use a lot of experience that I have when I teach sometimes. One of the friends that I worked with, he said that he believed that people serve different gods. So Islam or Muslims, Jewish faith, whether it's Hindu faith, he believed that people serve different gods, but he believed that it was the same God. So his belief system was everybody's going to go to heaven, even though they're worshiping different gods. He believed that they were all the same God that they were worshiping. That was his belief system. And I was like, wow, it was a really twisted conversation that we had. But my point to that is we will accept anything. We will allow other faiths, other religions, people's thoughts and what they believe that God should be to influence us. But they won't let us do that to them. You think you can convince a Jehovah's Witness otherwise? No. No, they're going to come in armed, equipped, and they're going to tell you why what they believe is right and why what you believe is wrong. And then we'll just sit there and be like, oh, okay, well maybe you got a point there, you can't if you go to a Muslim, they're going to believe this is what I believe, and they'll tell you, yeah, this, okay, I see what you're saying, but they're going to tell you what they believe, and then we accept that. But what we have to understand is that we serve a God. He's a jealous God. He's not going to have any other gods before Him. There's no other God. He's not the kind of God that he will just say, okay, well, yeah, you can serve them and serve me. He says, no, you got to make a choice. You really do. You have to choose. It's either going to be me or it's going to be them. So Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. That word dominion is powerful. That word dominion, when translated in Hebrew, it literally is kingdom. It literally is rule. When God made you, He created you to have rule, to have this representation of His kingdom here on earth. Who named the animals? Adam, right? Where did he get the names from? God gave him the authority.
Right, God gave me authority
to speak the names. It's not like God was over here and said, okay, yeah, call that one a giraffe. It wasn't like that. God gave him dominion. He gave him rule, so he could literally stand back and say, okay, yeah, that's going to be a lion.
Okay.
He gave him that kind of dominion. That he gave him rule. The point that I'm making here is that God wants His kingdom to be represented here on earth. He wants it to be represented. It's so that He can see the same thing that occurs in heaven. His will is done in heaven. He wants His will to be done on earth. And who is He going to do that through? Marcus.
Through us.
And Ariel. He's going to do that through Jessica. He's going to do that through you. He's going to represent, His kingdom will be represented through you because He's given you dominion. He's giving you rules.